right to violate this valid resolution by embarking upon the adventure of recognizing such a unilateral independence, pretending that the Security Council resolution is not binding. No one country has the right to openly violate Resolution 1244 and with the support of its allies act contrary to the decisions and resolutions of the UN Security Council. The Kosovo issue is in essence an issue of respect for international law. We all see that both international law and Resolution 1244 have been directly challenged by the unilateral declaration of independence by Serbia's province of Kosovo on February 17, 2008. Supporters of unilateral independence keep referring to Ahtisaari's rejected plan. That very same Ahtisaari proposal has been put on the table and was not accepted by the UN Security Council. Is it possible that a document already discarded by the UN Security Council can serve as a basis for violation of a valid UN resolution and for UN Charter itself? Let's get to the point. Serbia's proposal is that the Security Council must reject any form of unilateral independence for Kosovo and demand that both sides, the Serbian and Albanian, commit themselves to identifying a political and compromised solution in further negotiations. We must ask ourselves, what could be the reason for negotiations not continuing? If the reason is that no agreement has been reached after 2 years of negotiations, would that mean then that all of the disputes in the world, which are more than 2 years old, should be immediately brought to an end by the means of unilateral acts? The negotiations held to date have been overshadowed by the explicit promise to the Kosovo Albanians that they will get an independent Kosovo. This and nothing else is the real reason for the failure of negotiations so far. We are convinced that the outcome would have been different had it not been for such promise. We are equally certain that if such promises are not made in future, the new negotiations will bear fruit and lead to a compromise. Once again, everyone can count on Serbia's full willingness to take part constructively and responsibly in the new negotiations so that a functional, substantive autonomy could be secured in accordance with Resolution 1244, which would guarantee the Kosovo Albanians, in every respect, the most favored minority status existing in the world today. Substantive autonomy has in various models applied worldwide, proven to be a functional, sustainable, and effective arrangement. What is the most important is that substantive autonomy is an arrangement that's in tune with international law, which is precisely why it is today a universal pathway for reaching a compromise in all the disputes similar to the Kosovo dispute. Some examples: Italy and the issue of Southern Tyrol, Denmark and the issue of Greenland, China and the issue of Hong Kong, Finland and the issue of Poland Island. Therefore, there is no rational reason why Serbia could not resolve the issue of Kosovo in a similar manner. Based on everything that has been said so far, we hope that Serbia has full justification and sufficient arguments on its side to strongly insist on the resumption of negotiations. We believe that the UN Security Council must not allow Resolution 1244 to be undermined. On the contrary, for the sake of peace and the maintenance of stability, it is necessary to reaffirm the full value of this resolution and open new negotiations which will secure that a compromised solution is found. We appeal to Canada, the UN Security Council, and the world community to respect and support Serbia's stance and reject the unilateral independence of Kosovo for the simple reason that it is not in compliance with the UN Security Council 1244 and is therefore illegal. Serbia will henceforth do everything within its power to take part, together with the Security Council, in the quest for an drafted solution. We're confident that Canada, as well as a large number of the UN member states committed to the UN Charter, will stand alongside Serbia and will recognize it within its internationally recognized borders, thus respecting the rights and the honor of millions of Serbs and reject the unilateral independence of Kosovo as an illegally created entity. Thank you.
Kosovo je Srbija, Kosovo je Srbija, Kosovo je Srbija, Kosovo je Srbija.
Now I would like to read a petition prepared by the organization of this protest, which is all Serbs living in Edmonton, Alberta. Kosovo's unilateral declaration of independence should not be recognized by Canada. It was not authorized by the United Nations and is in violation of international law. The United Nations Charter and the Helsinki Convention. In addition, the United Nations Resolution 1244, which ended NATO's bombing of Serbia, reaffirmed Serbia's sovereignty over Kosovo. The bombing itself was in direct contravention of NATO's own charter. Kosovo is a province within the internationally recognized boundaries of Serbia and as such does not have a legal basis for succession. As matters stand now, the global community most likely will face future crises resulting from other political entities which desire to follow the precedent set for Kosovo. It must be taken into account that since NATO's takeover in 1999, Kosovo's Christian Serbs and other minorities have been without basic human rights or freedom of movement. They exist within barbed wire enclosed ghettos, fearful of their Albanian neighbors. During the past 9 years, there has been accelerated ethnic cleansing of Kosovo's minorities, together with wholesale destruction and desecration of ancient Christian holy places by Kosovo's extremist Albanian Muslims. Obviously, this does not bode well for the viability of Kosovo as an independent, multi-ethnic state. In addition, the sizable Albanian population in regions adjoining Kosovo, example Kosovo Valley of southern Serbia, parts of Macedonia and Montenegro, and even Greece, will now be imploded to amalgamate into a single state with Kosovo. This should be assessed very seriously. At stake here are fundamental principles which have universal applications. They cannot be set aside because of perceived special cases or because they present an obstacle to the policy objectives of a powerful nation. The message is simple and clear. Borders cannot be changed without the consent of the state involved. By rushing to recognize the independence of Kosovo as an independent state, certain countries have thus disregarded the basic principles of international law and have thus committed a serious error. Might makes right is not enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations. The recognition of Kosovo